once again, and thank you for watching Sunrise at Sea this Friday morning. I am your host Sandra Kopp, and I'll be taking the lead on this Our Views One conversation. But before we dive into it, I would like to ask Shivan, wellness, beauty, and lifestyle, you know the drill? It's obvious that
Guys,
the men confused you.
It's Ethan.
Was it Ethan?
It's
I
Ethan.
knew
it's
it.
Sarah's crush.
It seems like he's your crush also.
Confusing you, not me.
Well, I do apologize. We're actually in for our views.
Yes, we are this morning, and we'll be discussing ATM cards and this enjoyment. I mean, today is officially the first weekend since they opened up on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we did post this on our social media pages, and we asked, are you an impulsive spender with your ATM card on the weekends, or are you frugal and would rather leave it at home? Now, before we dive right into it, let's see what an ATM card is. Now, an ATM stands for Automated Teller Machine and is a computerized system that enables the customer to do financial transactions easily. It is an electronic banking outlet that enables customers to perform financial transaction without the need of their bank branch representative and teller. ATMs are a convenient and safe means of managing your fund and doing financial transactions. So, ladies, what is your behavior like with your ATM cards over the weekend enjoyment time? Especially this weekend, what are your plans?
I'm swiping it, swiping. Call me a swiper. I am terrible. Actually, I need to just cut up all my ATM cards and just, I have cut down on my expenses and my spending behavior, bad behaviors. However, it is just really tempting when you have your ATM right there and you know that you shouldn't be purchasing this item or, you know, spending on this thing, but then you're like, but I have the money. And you keep on saying to yourself, but I was broke before and I didn't die. Or I will replace it, or I have some money coming in. So for me, with ATMs, I am terrible. I have to deliberately leave it at home sometimes. But you see, even that does not stop me, because when I see something and I want to spend, I will go home, pick it, then go and and for that reason, I don't even have banking apps on my phone. Because when you have your banking app on your phone, you can just now send money and not even withdraw, you just send straight to the business. You don't even have to get your ATM. That's why I don't have banking apps, and my ATM, I deliberately leave it at home.
And you, Shivan?
Well, I do like samosas, so definitely I keep swiping and swiping and swiping. First of all, I don't like to move around with cash, yeah? So
yes.
Because I don't like to move around with money, most of the times I'm moving around with ATM. So I'm just like Sarah, like even if I've not planned to get something and I see something that I like and I have my ATM, I will definitely swipe. So regardless, even if it's the last 100,000 shillings, like I will get it because it will give me satisfaction.
Oh, wow. I guess for me, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Like, I would see something nice and really like it, but I'd ask myself, do I really need it? Because sometimes it's just, you get carried away. You get, yeah? And then I just, when I leave, I forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, other things just take, then I forget about it.
I wish I could have your type of, you know, self-discipline, because for me it even haunts me, you know, when you're sleeping at night and I'm like, but I can't get it. Like, even if I get it, it's a small dent in the account, but I can still, it haunts me. I sometimes can be at the store or the shop and I am seated there and the shop attendants are like, but madam, can we help you? I'm like, listen, I am in a dilemma right now. I am having a conversation with myself. So like, Sarah, you don't have money, leave it alone. I'm like, but you only live once. Eh? And these shoes would look good on that dress and that dress and I can wear them all the time, but you don't need it. I'm like, but I want it. But I literally sit there. Sometimes even when I'm paying, I'm like, take my money before I change my mind. And it is quickly. And I do know that that is such a bad habit. So I do my best to refrain myself from even going into town now. I just stay this side.
Well, let's see what people were saying about this. Derek MT was saying, I'm completely frugal as long as I'm single. And mobile money makes me forget about using an ATM. At Absa Uganda, it has really made me to save something instead of spending. Okay, as long as you're single, so the chick will chop your money. Especially this weekend. Essential Worker says, I always spend for a big reason. So in most cases, I prefer leaving it at home. This saves me from unnecessary expenditures. Do you think this is the reason some people opt for bank accounts with no ATM cards? They want to withdraw over the counter.
Yes. I know a lot of people who just withdraw a certain limit for the week. So for instance, it is 100,000 shillings. A number of my friends do this, or even my family members do this. My mom is against mobile banks. I think she's about to start a revolution and start protesting mobile apps and ATMs. She's like, those things your money will go just like that. She's like, no. So what they do is they withdraw for a week, a limit, and they must spend within that amount.
Yes.
So regardless of where there might be an emergency coming in, so you also factor in case of an emergency, say somebody gets sick, this amount. So you have to keep it until Sunday, keeping in mind there may be an emergency. So you are keeping your expenses to, say, food, maybe 1 meal a day, and transport to and from work, your fuel to and from work, because you're factoring in case there's an emergency, someone is sick, or you know, the car breaks down or whatever, is still in my 1 week budget. And then if Sunday reaches and nothing has happened, you enjoy life. No?
We're not in this world to suffer.
Or you choose to save, or you choose to save it. And I think I need to adopt this mechanism, but for me.
But the banks don't make it easy, because they will charge you more for withdrawing over the counter. And these ATM machines are everywhere, and at every corner.
True, and some of them are even free. And now there is Visa. If your bank is not in that region, you can go and withdraw. See?
Anywhere.
This is how the devil works.
Well, let's look at advantages of ATM machines and access to hard cash anywhere at any time. This can be a pro or a con, depending on the surroundings that you're at. And ATM machines offer financial inclusion, which is very true. You have ATMs all the way in rural areas, and you can send money and they can have access to financial services, which is very important. And ATM machines offer a wide range of services. Yes, they do. Like you have things such as you can deposit, withdrawal, of course, and other services that come along with it. And ATM machines are cheaper to maintain.
Really?
They're cheaper to maintain than having branches everywhere. Because they're automated.
Me, I have a quarrel to pick with my bank. The ATM is always down. Or it's maybe God's way of, saving me from spending.
I thought that you've actually mentioned it. It's God's way of telling you, sorry, you know what, let's cut back. Let's cut back, girlfriend.
Because Sandra, you've said they are cheap to maintain. So I'm going to lodge in my complaint after the show.
ATM machines serve an important function in times of crisis. Yes, this is quite true, because you're able to access your money anywhere at any time. But they do come with some disadvantages, and their ATM machines can be targeted by criminal robbers and hackers. And we have heard of this. People, there was a racket going on around, so they would put something, a scanner, where you put in your ATM card. So once you walk in and you withdraw cash, they come and remove that scanner. So they clone your card.
They clone your card.
Yes, with your PIN and everything.
And details. Exactly.
Yes, and then they used to clear accounts. It was even happening in a certain supermarket in Kenya, where you pay by Visa. You're a bit distracted with the stuff. So the lady who's doing it will scan it under, pretending she's looking for the Visa machine. And then you'd go. I remember I had a friend of mine, and he was telling me that he was an Italian guy, and it's like, Sandra, I'm in Mombasa, but the bank called me and told me I'm buying furniture in Romania.
What's happening?
What's going on?
He was so like, what is happening? Like, I'm in Mombasa, I haven't left the country. So these are some of the disadvantages of ATM cards, and ATM machines may malfunction, of course. ATM machines are costly for the users and a lack of personal service. If you have a problem, you can't really talk to someone. And then there's this guy at this bank in Bugolobi. He's very nice, you know, like one of the watchmen.
Yes.
If there's always a problem with the machine, he always comes and helps the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he really helps people go there who don't know how to use the machine and stuff. But in an instance where, I mean, nobody is supposed to be there. It's an automated service.
Yes.
So some people really face that problem. And then obsolescence is also another issue because these machines are becoming obsolete. You have mobile money, you have the banking apps.
Yes.
You don't need to actually get up unless you really need to.
Someone else.
But after a couple of years, like all these apps and financial services, internet banking, then I don't think they'll be around for much longer. Like in the next 10 years, I don't think it will be so. And then other disadvantages of ATM machines are if you get a problem with your bank card or forget your PIN, you can't withdraw your money. I was in this state one time. Cash withdrawal limits on ATM machines.
Depending on the
you
bank.
withdraw and maybe you get an emergency and you've reached your limits for the day. So you can't really access your funds. If an ATM card is lost, it can be misused. This is true.
Yes.
Banks have limited ATM machines in rural areas. This is also another thing, and people cannot access these services. But let's understand spending triggers, like what Sarah said. You sit in the shop and you're deciding.
Yes.
Me, I face that dilemma. In a shop, not necessarily, but in a restaurant.
Yes.
I'm
Same here.
spoiled for choice. I'm such a foodie. I'm such a foodie.
And even when you, since the weekend is here, people are going to be enjoying themselves.
Yes.
I highly recommend don't go with your ATM because one of the other disadvantages is that you get excited. That is a trigger. You have a little bit to drink and now you're excited and now you're buying everybody drinks.
Yes.
And if you go to a place where, say, the people who work there are dishonest, they can make you pay double. Because
Absolutely, they inflate your bill.
And not even that, they can bring the machine to you and then you put in your PIN, it goes through, the payment comes through, and then they say, no, network issues, punch in again.
I always keep those.
They don't give it to you.
Oh, me, honey, you're going to give it to me.
They say, this is a error.
Always insist for it.
I would think for me personally, when I am going out late in the night, even while it's very risky to carry cash, especially if you're going for enjoyment, because you do not know, maybe at some point your money could fall out or something, you would probably want to carry an ATM card, which is the easiest thing. However, with an ATM card, even when your friend probably says, Shivan, I want a tequila shot, and you're like, how much is it? 17, and you're like, oh, I still have 1 million shillings on my ATM. It's okay, I'll swipe. But if you say that I have moved with this amount of money, you very well know that if you get anything above the money you have carried, you will stay at home and eat broken bottles or wash them.
Another important thing is to avoid your triggers, especially since the weekend is here.
Yes.
Pay your bill as soon as they bring the drinks at the beginning. So if you've ordered for your bottles or your food, clear it.
Order in advance?
No, you order, they bring your things, pay. Don't wait to pay when you're leaving.
Yes.
Because now when you pay when you're leaving, you might end up paying double when they're telling you, Sijui error. And then you end up paying twice. Or they might inflate your bill
And
because they're taking advantage of
the
fact that you're now.
Now, what we used to
good
call
place.
my girlfriends and I way back, like we would go out and then you're swiping or you'd go to withdraw. So we used to tell each other, so where have you been? I went to the ATM, and this is what we used to call it. I went to make another terrible mistake.
Yours is actually okay.
That's what we call it. I went to make another terrible mistake. Because in the morning, you open your clutch bag, and all these receipts are falling out, and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And then you call them like, honey, you made a lot of terrible mistakes last night. A lot. So we used to call that, and you have to understand your spending triggers. Now, one of it is time of day, of course. Early in the morning, clearly you're not spending
Depends.
too much. But it depends. If it is a weekend, then yes, you could be out and about in town, like how Sarah walks into a shop and she can't live without that handbag or boots. Yeah, so time of day is very important. For example, in the evenings, you're likely to spend more.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
You're likely to spend more in the evenings. You're having a drink, maybe you want to have a meal. So understand the time of day and what works for you, and then the environment in which you're in. If you're like somewhere and people on enjoyment and what, definitely you're going to spend more. You're going to be impelled to spend
True.
more. And of course the mood you're in, and this is, you know how the retail therapy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm pissed off, let me go and buy myself something nice.
Oh my-
and then you just lose the plot somewhere in
Guilty.
there.
Oh my God, guilty.
Yes.
Guilty.
I can see. Retail therapy. So mind the mood that you're in. Don't go angry with your ATM card. You're just going to buy a lot of things that
Meanwhile,
you really don't need.
talking about the mood, there is something I usually do. I think it's actually a bad habit. It's a vice. So what we do is that when I've gone out with my friends, we're about 10, a group of 10 people, you all bring your ATM cards. So we put them in a box, we shake, then we pick. Whoever's ATM card is picked
Is
the
paying.
one who pays for the entire night.
Oh
So,
my God.
The deal
I'm
is
not doing that
the
anytime
deal,
soon.
the deal is usually what my friends do that I did not think about is that they bring the ATM cards with the lesser money on it.
Me, I'd bring with zero money, the one I don't use.
Me, I tell you, I have no money. I'm not spending. You're taking me
broke.
out. You are. But another spending trigger is discounts. I saw a meme sometime that said that 2 things that would change a woman's mood is hearing the words "I love you" and 70% discount.
Oh yes.
Discounts are the devil themselves because you walk into a store and then it says 70% discount and now the price is at 150, but then you've not asked yourself
What was
okay,
the original price?
what was the original price that you're slashing 70% off? You could
That's
find that
just
there was never
psychology, yeah.
there was never a slash in the price. That is the actual price. There's some stores you walk into and you see like a tag is 380 and say 90%. I beg your pardon. So what was the original price? But then you say it's a discount. Oh, this could have been a lot more expensive. Take my money, please. Discounts
Another
are the
trigger.
devil.
Another trigger, I guess that's a trigger. Another trigger is peer pressure.
Yeah.
You go into a place and you want to keep up with your peers, and you've seen those people buying
Yes.
bottles. Pressure. You don't need to buy that bottle. When you're going for enjoyment, you don't need to buy that bottle to prove a point. I actually think people who do that have an inferiority complex, so they are overcompensating.
But also, you
That's
see,
what I
Sandra is
think.
shaking
you know, and we're talking about
That's
the
what I
people that are probably going to be taking us to enjoyment. You know, it actually does make sense because there's this one time that I was hanging out with Sarah. So we went to a certain place in town, and when you buy the most expensive alcohol, they come with waitresses dancing and a candle, and it's all lit up, making you feel like you're the don of the place. So the rest of you who have bought cheap alcohol, no waitress comes to you like you're like, mm-mm.
And lifestyle as well is another trigger. Keeping up with the lifestyle, not living within your means. Well, that was all we had. But before we go, I would like you to watch these 2 videos on enjoyment. Please pick a leaf. Watch this.
I really want to save and keep my money. But anytime I get money, enjoyment doesn't spare me. Let's go and party.
Hi, my name is Shay, and I am a rich person born in a poor person's body. And so as I make this transition into my truth as being a rich person, just so that I'm not like shocked and so the people around me aren't shocked, I practice daily when I can to be rich. So I give rich vibes. I buy rich things. Does my bank account agree? No. But do I agree? Yes. Because what my bank needs to understand is they will not deny me my truth. And so yeah. I'm rich. Nice to meet you.